everyone. So today's video is like an unboxing and sort of an initial review on some new brushes that I've just bought. I don't have a lot of brushes. I don't know if you'll be able to see them all, but all my brushes are back there. I don't have a lot of brushes, especially eye brushes. I feel like I'm lacking in eye brushes, and I feel like the brushes that I do have sort of limit me to the kind of eye looks that I can do because they're not very defining. I just have sort of your normal pencil brushes and blending brushes, and I don't have anything that's any different from that. And I've also been doing a lot of other people's makeup recently, and I feel like using my brushes is not easy, and I want to get some more brushes that I can have separate brushes for myself and separate brushes for when I do other people's makeup. They are just friends who I do at the moment, so they obviously don't mind sharing brushes with me, but if I start to do people's makeup that I don't really know that well, I'd want to use nice, fresh, clean brushes that I've never used on myself. So I decided that I wanted to try a different brand of brushes because they are fairly inexpensive, and if they're good, then I'll buy more and probably build up a little kit of separate brushes for doing other people's makeup. So if you watch YouTube videos, you would have heard of Morphe brushes. Everybody seems to talk about Morphe brushes, especially say, you know, that they're very inexpensive, they're great quality and everything like that. And anytime I see any tutorials, I generally see people using Morphe brushes. So I decided to pick up some for myself because I have never tried them. I've tried Sigma, and I've got like MAC and Real Techniques and things like that. I've only actually got one Sigma brush, which is the flat top kabuki brush. I do want to try some of their eye brushes as well, but I thought I'd just give Morphe a try first. I could have got these directly from Morphe, but the shipping just kind of put me off a bit. So I decided to get my brushes from Beauty Bay. I've actually ordered from Beauty Bay about 4 times in the last 6 months, and I love ordering from them. The shipping's always been quite quick, and they do some really good brands like Anastasia, Cargo. They do some Dose of Colour stuff. They're quite limited with their Dose of Colour stuff, but they do have some stuff. So if you haven't checked out Beauty Bay, I would highly recommend doing it. I'll pop their link in the description box. So I haven't actually opened these brushes yet. They've been sitting on my desk for a few days because I've been waiting for this video, so I can't actually remember how many I got and what brushes I got, so I thought I'd open them on camera. This is another thing that I love about Beauty Bay, is everything's always so protected. When I got the box, it felt like there wasn't even anything in there, and it'll be because they'd wrapped them all in bubble wrap, which I like, and I can't get them out. So I got 6 brushes, I got 5 eye brushes, and this is actually something that I got for my face. I think you could actually use this on your eye, but considering the size of it, I'd probably just use it on my face. So I'll start with the face one first, and then I'll move on to eyes. So the first one I got is the Morphe M510. This I've heard so many people talk about, particularly for highlighting their face. It's just like, it just looks like a really big fluffy brush. So this is my Lauren Luke blending brush. This is the biggest eye blending brush that I have, and it's dirty because I just used it to do my makeup earlier. But as you can see, it's not even hugely bigger. I was expecting this to actually be a lot bigger than what it is. I'm not bothered that it's not as big as what I thought, but I was expecting it to be a lot bigger. So it's bigger than what I would actually think is almost too big for my eye. So that's the size comparison. And it's almost, I don't know if it's just where it's been packaged, but if you turn it round, it looks like it's quite wide there, but then when I turn it, it looks flat. It is, it's so soft. I can't actually believe how soft it is. I don't know if you'll be able to see. It has got a couple of little bristles that are sticking out a bit, but again, I don't know if that's just from where it's been in its packaging. I'm sure once I've washed it and put it into shape again and left it to dry, because I do like to wash my brushes before I use them. But I am very, very excited to use this brush, especially because if it is supposed to be a bit flat, because it's the perfect size to put highlighter on, especially cheekbones, down your nose and everything like that. It's quite dense as well, but it has got a little bit with movement in, so I think this will be really good for highlighting. So that's the Morphe M510. I couldn't actually find this one on the Morphe website when I had a look, so I was quite surprised they had it on Beauty Bay. I'll link all the brushes that I get in the description box anyway, so hopefully they'll still have this in stock. I also really like the handle because it's like a matte black, and then the Morphe and the M510 is like a silver embossed. Just looks really, really nice and sleek. So I'm so excited to use this brush. I will be using all these brushes in a video soon, but I just wanted to give my initial review and show them all nice and clean and fresh before I wash them. So that's the Morphe M510. Now when I was picking these brushes, I actually just went by the pictures. I wasn't going, apart from the 510, I wasn't actually going on anyone's recommendations, but I was just seeing what I had compared to what was on the website and just sort of chose a few random ones. I think in total these brushes only cost me £30, which I think for 6 brushes isn't that bad at all. But the next one I got is the M518. I think when it says M and then a number, it's just the standard Morphe line. So if this is the quality of just the standard line, I would like to see what the other sort of ranges are. I know that Jeffree Star is coming out with his own collection with Morphe quite soon, I think. So it'd be interesting to see what they're like. So the next one I got is the M518. This is just like a really, it's quite tall, but it's very thin, so it doesn't taper out loads at the top. Blending brush. So this brush is already shedding quite a bit just from me sort of flicking it. This is why I normally wash my brushes first before I actually go ahead and use them, just because it gets rid of any loose hairs, and generally then that's it. So hopefully once I've washed it it'll be alright. But yeah, it's just like a tall blending brush. It doesn't taper out as much on the top as my Lauren Luke brush does, but it is the exact same height. So I feel like this is good for getting a bit more definition in my crease, and because it's still got a bit of give to it, it should blend out quite nicely, I feel. So I'm excited to use that. So I'd probably go in with this brush first just to get a light wash of colour, get a little bit of definition, and then just go in with this, maybe even with the same colour or maybe a shade darker, just to deepen up my crease a bit more. And it helps because I find that sometimes, because this brush is so big, I put it in, blend out my colour, and I feel like I want some a bit lower to be a bit darker. I don't like colour going too high up to my brow bone because I've got a lot of space between my crease and my brow bone. So I feel like I do need something more precise. So I'll use this instead maybe completely, or like I said, use this to get a wash and then just deepen it up with this one. So yeah, that's the M518 brush. The next one that I got is the M505. This is another blending brush which is sort of tapered to a point, and I've wanted a brush like this in particular for a reason, and that's because I've tried to do a cut crease the other day and it just looked awful. And like I said, I just feel like I don't have a lot of eye brushes, and it was really difficult to get a nice line but that was blended. I felt like I could get a line fine, but anything that I blended it with was either too big or too small. So I ended up wiping it off and didn't like it, and I knew I was going to be getting this brush anyway, so I thought I'd wait. Because this brush goes to a point, I'll be able to get it right into my crease to create that nice clean blended line, to be able to do a cut crease hopefully. And also I feel like this would be really good for the sort of doing like a halo eye, so getting right in the outer corner, darken it up, and then getting it right in the inner corner. So, and again, it's so soft. I can't believe how soft these brushes are. I'm very surprised at how soft these brushes are. So I'm really excited to use this. I also think it'd be really nice for sort of highlighting the inner corner to get a sort of wash of colour, highlighting the nose, highlighting Cupid's bow. I feel like this is just an all-round sort of good brush, and it have a few different uses. So this is definitely a brush that I'd probably pick up 2 or 3 more of. The next brush I got is the M514. This is just like a really thin blending brush, and it's still quite tall. Again, the same kind of reason for, I feel like the white ones are the ones that shed more. Again, for the same reason as with the previous one, is I feel like this would be a really good brush to use for cut creases and just to get a bit more definition into my crease and into the outer corner. The sort of smallest blending brush I have that's not a pencil brush is my MAC 217, and again it's pretty similar height, maybe just a tiny bit taller, but it's a lot thinner, so I feel like it would get right into the outer corner and I can really deepen that up, whereas with this I have to be really careful, and if I don't want too much colour in the outer corner it's a lot harder to not do that with this, whereas with this one hopefully I'll just be able to get a little bit of colour there. So like with the last one, I feel like I'd probably pick up a few more of these just because I feel like they'd be all round good brushes. Even for like nose contouring, I feel like this would be really good for that, so I'd have to get another one just for that if anything else. I also picked up a angled liner brush. This is the M160 and then it says 1/8, so they must have different sizes. I think this was just called like a winged liner brush or something. Very small angled brush. And I got this brush because I have the MAC, I think this is the MAC 266 and my Lauren Luke angled brush. And I love these brushes. I use the MAC one for my eyebrows and I use the Lauren Luke one to do my winged liner. But I just feel like they're too big, and especially lately when I've been trying to sort of experiment with my makeup a bit more, I just feel like these don't really let me do it. And I just picked up one for now because I wanted to try it for my eyebrows and for my eyeliner. I really want to get the Anastasia Dip Brow, and I feel like this brush would just be so good at getting a really sharp line on my eyebrows, because lately I've just like doing more dramatic eyebrows. I don't know why, I've never really been like that, but you can probably tell from today that I just wanted to do more dramatic makeup in general. And I feel like when I'm doing other people's makeup, this would be really good because you can just get a bit more precise, and it'd just be a lot easier to work with people's eyebrows, and obviously for eyeliner as well, because it's such a small brush. Getting that wing should hopefully look a lot more sharp. So I'm really excited to use this brush, and if I like it we'll definitely get another one of these as well. So that is the M160-18. The last brush I got is actually from Morphe's Elite collection. Now the Elite collection had a huge sale on the Morphe website, actually discontinuing it, and they're gonna redo them. So I was actually, when I was on the Morphe website seeing if I was going to buy it from there, I was just going to buy a load of these, but so many of them were out of stock. So I decided to just pick up one anyway, and this is so soft. So this is the E28. It's just like a big blending brush, but again it sort of tapers to a bit of a point. I feel like this might actually replace my Lauren Luke brush. The handle's different on this as well. It's like a shiny, and the middle part is fatter and it slims down towards the end of the handle, so that must be how they differentiate, as well as the fact that it's E28 and not M28. So I'm excited to try this. If you can get your hands on some of the Elite brushes, I would, unless you wanted to wait for when they redo them and then pick up another one from there. So yeah, this actually might be better for me getting my first crease colour on. And then I'd be able to go in with like the M518 to sort of deepen up a bit, because it is slightly fluffier, slightly bigger than the M518. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to use all these brushes, by the way. That is all the brushes I got from Morphe. If you've ever used Morphe before and you have any other recommendations, then let me know. If you've never tried them yourself, from just feeling them now, I would say give them a go, but I will be doing another video where I actually use them, so I can give you a bit more in-depth review about how I feel about them in use. Let me know if you have any other product recommendations down below. I always like an excuse to spend some money on a bit of makeup.
Wait! You're missing me!
Oh, sorry. Ugh. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you give it a big thumbs up. And leave a comment down below, and and subscribe if you haven't already.
I'll do the piece.
I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
Okay, subscribe and
Say bye.
Bye.